All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Run! Go! Get to the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and podcast. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Podcast. Let's get to the podcast with the number 2. My name is Thiago D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
Okay, guys, so I just want to say we're really going to talk about this because if the Beast get here, he's going to be very angry, and I'm kind of scared for you guys that he's going to kill you. So,
I am tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. That's my best
Samuel Jackson. Ezekiel 25:17.
Now you got to do
the path of the righteous.
You gotta do
is
one.
set on all
Gotta do.
time, but the iniquities of. What?
Oh,
Yeah.
my name is
Yeah.
Regina. And
who said that?
That's Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, I
Right.
thought you were gonna be like,
He's
yippee-ki-yay,
very,
motherfucker.
very
BKA, motherfucker.
No, Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
We're
go.
not doing that though.
All right.
No, we're not.
No, because he's in the.
What?
He's doing the trilogy, man.
Yeah,
The
but he was
three
doing a character
characters.
in that. You took another guy into another movie.
I know, so that was your cue to go.
I did another
Bruce
Samuel
Willis
Jackson.
from a famous Bruce Willis
You're
movie.
a fucking mess, is what
Because I
it
can't
is.
really think of any lines from any of these movies that stand out to me.
Okay, you want me to do a
Willis.
line, a Bruce Willis line?
Sure.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Why don't didn't you just do that?
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Oh, yeah.
Whose
There you
motorcycle is this? Not a motorcycle. It's a chopper, baby. Whose chopper is this? Zed's. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
There you go.
Pulp Fiction.
There you
So,
go.
okay.
That was too forced.
It's too forced because you fucking fucked me up. I did a thing.
That's
And then
true.
but that's the same movie. Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis were both in Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were also in Glass,
Glass, which is today's topic.
Because Thiago finally watched Glass.
Who just finally? 'Cause
Thiago, I couldn't remember your name. You're unimportant to me. So Thiago finally
He's talking as
watched
the first person.
Glass. Thiago.
I'm actually
finally
really
watched
curious to
Glass.
find out how you like it or not.
Okay, because Neil loved Glass. I really like Glass. We saw it in theater together, and Thiago finally watched it.
I'm not sure if I was when I came out of the theater. I
Yeah.
remember being like very I was like, wow, that was
You were, yeah, and I brought up like one
I
negative
think
thing
I
about it.
set
You're
my
like, here we
expectations
go.
really low.
Yeah.
And then when I came out, I was like,
You were
I expected
happy.
it to be garbage,
You were
and it was
happy.
actually really, really good. I thought. Yeah.
Good.
I think that's because that's what
It's
I
a
just
really
had
good
this
movie.
expectation for it not to be. But Split, I really, really, really liked.
Yeah,
So.
Split was-
I
I think
like
Split-
the twist in Glass. So this is a
Yeah.
spoiler episode of Glass.
Honestly, I think in order, my films go Unbreakable, Split, and Glass.
Oh, I like Split more than Unbreakable, actually.
It's like battle
that's
for
weird.
me. Those
Yeah,
two are
like-
battling for me.
Okay.
But I think Unbreakable was great because it just had elements in it that kept you going, and then you just didn't know things, and it's still like they threw him in the fucking pool with a cover, and if you think about the physics of water, just pushing that like this.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to get out type of situation. And
Yeah.
it was just like that scene was just
Yeah.
like amazing for me.
When I originally saw Unbreakable, I'll be honest, I saw it in theaters and I was not impressed. The only thing I really liked about the movie was the twist ending,
Yeah.
which is a Shyamalan twist, which I thought was really good. But the rest of the movie, I felt like nothing ever really happened, and I wasn't. I was expecting because you got promoted. It was early Shyamalan, right? So I'm not really sitting here going, "This is how Shyamalan." And he'd only done really that we knew of Sixth Sense by that point. So I'm not going in
Yeah, but
thinking
you-
anything but this is gonna be a superhero movie.
Did you
know?
see Sixth Sense?
Yeah. No.
Prior to
I
that?
hadn't seen Sixth Sense by that point. But
Yeah.
either way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. He
I-
didn't have a brand yet. It wasn't a Shyamalan brand. We now know the type of movie Shyamalan makes. He never goes for the Hollywood.
No, but
Crazy
it's like
stuff, and I
Jordan
thought-
Peele. Jordan Peele did one movie, and then with us, everyone had expectations.
Yeah,
They
but
were
it's a different time
specific to
period.
that.
That's 2000. This is
Yeah.
2019. It's a very different time period.
I don't
we
know.
know
I
so much
saw-
more about people and things now and behind the scenes stuff and how people are and what
Yeah.
they're creating and everything. I only knew Unbreakable by maybe one preview I'd seen. And back then, you didn't really have previews on the internet. You didn't have any of this stuff. So I just went in. I maybe saw a trailer or a preview when I saw another movie in theater. And maybe. And then so I went into this movie thinking it was going to be a lot more superhero-ish, a lot more shit going on. And he never does anything. He goes into a house and beats the shit out of somebody at one point. But that's, like, when it comes to action, there's not really any action in the movie. Now, at this point, I appreciate that movie a lot more. Yeah. But at the time, I didn't really. So I had a kind of a negative experience the first time I saw it. I liked the twist ending, but it's not enough to like just an ending.
I don't know. It's a unique movie. I mean, just that the dry, like his marriage is failing. The son, like the whole
with
tonal.
The gun. I like the gun scene where the son pulls the gun on him.
Yeah, the son's gonna like shoot his dad to prove to his dad that like that movie is heavy. There's some heavy shit in that movie that I think people just forget or whatever, gloss over. Yeah. But there's some
Here's the thing. Here's what I've learned.
It's a slow burn
with Shyamalan. He is really incredible, and I almost want to say king in taking like supernatural elements and making them realistic,
grounded. Yeah.
And out of all, like with all three films, he's done that.
Yeah.
He has put in this science behind everything to make it literally feel logical. Like your brain can take you to this level. The functions of your brain can really, like with the Beast, right. His personality is so engraved in him when he becomes that person that his like, I don't know, like everything turns to be that person. His physics, his physiology turns to become like the Beast. It's just incredible.
Right.
Yeah. And he makes that seem realistic just by the simple like veins. Put the veins on this guy. He is that strong when he feels that strong.
It's like how do you get a superhuman, super strength guy, but in the real world as opposed to how does that happen in an X-Men movie or something like that where it's just never explained as anything but like they have superpowers. They're the mutants with different genes.
When you see
no real science.
Bruce Willis, when you see Bruce Willis like throwing dudes like 30 feet in the air, you're like, all right. Like,
yeah, definitely it's unrealistic. Like the supernatural elements are unrealistic.
But
there's how he tells the story and how he does it, you accept it as almost this real thing happening.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like Chronicles.
Yeah, Chronicle. Yeah.
Chronicle. Yeah, sorry.
It's like the first season of Heroes. Like it's only like a little bit by little bit. They don't overwhelm you with like Harry Potter-ish magic, Can
you imagine being like, I don't know, 50 years old, having kids, your marriage is failing, and then finding out this entire fucking time that you had superhuman strength and you were like unbreakable, like you were
it's pretty
you could be shot, hit. It's
cool they didn't do it with like a 20 or 30-year-old. Yeah, they did it with a dude who's like a middle-aged dude who's
like a security guard or whatever. Yeah. And then if you like touch people, like you could see all the evil shit that they were doing like at a given moment or something.
That was the more supernatural element of it, even more than the fact that he was indestructible or unbreakable. It was like it was interesting that he added that element in because he needed that for the twist.
Right.
Without that, the twist never would have happened. And
he has the gloves. Yeah. But how does Samuel Jackson, I guess that makes sense.
He wants him to know.
He's like a fucking genius.
Yeah. And he wants him to know that he's a villain at the end, only when he wants him to know, because he needs him to know.
Yeah, but does he find out that
he
can sense people's shit by touching them early on? Do they make that connection?
Well, he's his mentor or whatever. He's the guy who's guiding him through all those new powers, like throughout the movie. That's the whole point.
He touched him at the end of Unbreakable.
Yeah, and he takes off his glove. Like he makes sure to do it bare, and that's why he knows he reads him. He instantly goes.
And he sees everything.
You see?
It wasn't just a train. It was like these.
And Samuel Jackson's response to him doing it is he doesn't tell him like, "Oh my God, you did all these things." I don't think he says anything like that. It's Samuel Jackson knows that he just read his mind, saw all his pictures, and then he's like, "You see, like there has to be." And it has to be a balance. It has to be a balance. I realized I was never going to be the hero. But my mind, I could be the super villain. Yeah. That's what I could be. And that was cool. Like that really did make.
But that was like his catalyst for I guess for Split.
Yeah.
For him to come, Bruce Willis to come back and be and essentially take on this. In Glass. For Bruce Willis to come back and like take on the superhero
Yeah.
role, you know, where he's
Yeah.
basically like a vigilante superhero who's going around
Right.
taking out bad guys.
Right.
And he
like
worked
that.
with his son, who they brought back,
Which
I
was
thought
cool,
was
yeah.
great.
The same
Yeah, that's
kid,
really
same,
cool, yeah.
same actor, and he's an adult now.
Yeah.
So in Split, first of all, I love Split. I thought
Yes.
Split was, I really do like that movie more than Unbreakable. I think it's also, close to 20 years later. M. Night
It's a
Shyamalan's
self-contained film.
Yeah, he's a better storyteller, better filmmaker by this point. He's, made his mistakes. No, I'm saying he's made his mistakes. He's learned from his mistakes. You grow as an artist.
Well,
And
you know what he did? He stopped accepting money from the studios, and
Yeah.
he funds the last like 4 films he's made. He paid out of pocket himself for the
Yeah.
entire production, which is like unheard of.
You know, the
Now he's
great
wealthy.
the great thing is
Yeah,
that
I mean, those movies are doing really good.
Yeah.
if you go to IMDb and you look at James McAvoy,
Yeah.
like his
It's all the
role,
names.
and all,
all the names, because he's credited as like all 20 of those names or whatever.
he's
I
to
can't
win a
believe he
fucking
didn't get
award.
acknowledged, yeah.
I
He was
cannot
great.
understand.
Both of them.
Yeah.
And both of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot understand why he didn't even get nominated.
Yeah.
Like it was incredible. His acting was phenomenal.
The Academy Awards are political. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It really is that. He should have been acknowledged minimally. But Split, so I love that movie. I love the storyline, and I love that the twist in that one is that it's in the Unbreakable universe, because you didn't see that coming. Like, you really didn't. And what's so cool is like
I actually
originally
had
when
that
he was
spoiled for me before I saw it,
Oh,
which
that's a
was kind of
bummer.
upsetting
That's a bummer. Well, I had the Sixth Sense. It took me almost 20 years to see Sixth Sense.
because somebody spoiled it.
Well, no, because because just wasn't getting around to watching this movie, which is strange that I didn't see that movie. But I didn't see that movie until like 2013 or something like that. Like
That
14
was like a
years
huge
later.
movie. It made
Right.
like a shit ton of money.
It did. It was this little thing where I was just really busy at the time. Like I was just in a position where I wasn't able to get to the theaters.
Dude,
and see
Donnie
movies.
Wahlberg.
I know, but I didn't see the movie, and so many pop culture references would just spoil that movie for me. It's like in the Lonely Island song, "Jizz My Pants." He says at the end of Sixth Sense, Bruce Willis was dead at the end of Sixth Sense. I jizzed in my pants. I'm like, God damn it!
Spoiled it.
But
20 years later.
But because I never like dove into it, I didn't know what the spoiler was exactly. I didn't know that the whole point was that he was a ghost the entire time. Like, I didn't get all that, so I actually was still able to.
The
be
irony
surprised.
is that like when you finally do realize it, you look back and you're like, oh yeah, of course. Like this, why is this like guy hanging out with this little boy when like they made it clear early on the little boy can see dead people,
Yeah.
and he says I can see dead people, and the
And
whole
she
time
never
you're like,
interacts with the mom. Never actually interacts with him. They
well,
would
yeah,
come
that
in
I
and he'd
never
be
would have
sitting
caught.
next to
But
her.
it's so well done that like he's talking to people
Yeah.
and you think they're having a conversation,
Right.
but it's all this.
You never hear them.
Bruce Willis is just out of it. He's
Yeah.
like as a ghost, he doesn't know he's dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even his wife, he sits down at the table and you think, oh, she's really upset with him, so she
Yeah.
leaves. But no, she never knew he was there because she's upset because he died. Like that whole scene at the
It was
restaurant.
Donnie Wahlberg
Yeah.
murdered him.
I know. It's
Crazy ass diaper wearing Donnie Wahlberg.
underwear wearing, yeah. That was a great movie. Anyways, so Split, jump forward to Split. Split, I thought was fantastic. James McAvoy made that movie, but the storyline was really interesting too. And you didn't know, is he or
I thought
isn't?
the
Is he just
chick was
crazy?
great.
She was.
The one from The Witch. She was in
Right.
that
Yeah.
indie movie,
Yeah.
The Witch.
And she ended up in Glass as well. But I like the whole point was you didn't know if it was real or not, or if he was just crazy. You really had no clue if this guy was just nuts.
Oh,
It's
if
till
that was
the
the
end, and
great
you're
thing
like,
about this
holy
film.
shit,
Yeah.
it's real.
It
If
was
the beast was
connected,
actually
yeah.
coming.
Like when he's able to actually pull the bars apart. But then they,
Wait. We gotta say it. What does he say? Rejoice! Every time I watch that just the way he sounds, that like creeps me the
Yeah.
fuck out.
But also, if you look at M. Night Shyamalan said that the Horde, which is really what that is,
Yeah.
he's not just the beast, he's the Horde because he has all those different personalities. That was something he had thought of and was supposed to have a whole storyline in Unbreakable
Yeah.
originally.
Yeah.
And
And
then
they
he
cut it
decided just to go with the Bruce Willis character and cut it out. So that's actually a character and a story that he wanted to tell almost 20 years earlier,
Yeah.
which I thought was great. Now, this whole point of like we didn't know if it was real or not with the beast, in Split, they play upon that in Glass, where you don't know, where they start trying to convince the audience that, hey, everything that these guys are doing are actually just in their heads. It's not real. Yes, he pulled apart the bars, but those were old bars, in the cell downstairs in Split.
Yeah,
those
that was
were old bars.
1962, those
Yeah,
bar-
and it's
yeah.
not the same as doing
She's
it
like
now.
she went back and she pulled
The
the bar. She was able to bend those
psychiatrist.
bars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
psychiatrist.
Who was played by
Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson is
Who's
great. Yeah, she's
great
really good in
actress.
this. Yeah.
So it was kind of cool how they started to like fuck you up a little bit. Like, oh, are they all crazy?
But it's
Yeah.
weird they have Samuel Jackson is like sedated like the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, he's a
up
vegetable.
until, up
Yeah.
until the end. But
I mean, that's the thing about
it?
No,
that's-
we're spoiling it today. We're spoiling it today. Like
that's the
what we're
thing
talking
about it. It's they made you think that even the films before it, that what you watched was like it was in their head.
Yeah.
And that was a great. It wasn't a twist, but it was the manipulation within the film.
Yeah.
That made you feel like, oh, was I watching something fake? Was this like in?
It starts to put doubts in your head
Exactly,
and set you up for a bigger twist at the end
Exactly.
that you don't see coming, which was also kind of cool. Before we get into that, though, what did you think of Glass?
I thought it was a really good film. I really did like it. I didn't like it as much as the other ones.
Yeah.
I have my Thiago's angry moments with it.
Yeah.
Which one was, if you want to talk about, is the whole the doctor's whole role and everything with that. It was just, I don't know. I didn't like how they played that out.
Right.
It was just, it felt awkward. It felt like it didn't connect to the film. For
You mean
me.
the twist?
No, the society of humans trying to fight back against gods.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the twist.
I mean, of course, at the end, that's
yeah.
the twist. But when you find the whole scenes with the society, with when
they
she
all
walks,
meet?
Yeah.
where they all meet
Restaurant?
at the restaurant,
Everybody
and stuff
stop,
like,
like they're all eating.
Bitch, ain't
and
no
then they all
fucking
stop.
like coffee
Eating.
maker doing that shit. He don't know. Shit.
know,
it's like
I like that, actually.
I would say that I while it was happening in the theater, I was kind of like
Dr. Ellie,
like a little like deflated.
Because
But then the more I looked at it, I was like, actually, I kind of like that. I like this. I do feel like because at the end, all you see is like all these tattoos of dead guys or whatever everywhere, and like the security force all have the same tattoo, and it doesn't
must be a
explain
society,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, are they just gonna shoe in some sort of bigger universe connected to this small event? And that's exactly what happened. So I wish he hadn't done that,
Right.
and maybe had it be more shocking and more jarring or something instead of like indicating that something was off.
It's just to me, it just didn't feel like for such a secret society they weren't being very secretive. Right then during the day in the coffee shop, where everybody goes, you can't really control who goes.
But
in the
you
coffee
don't.
shop,
But you don't know.
It was just
They're
it
super,
was-
is true. That is true.
super secret.
Yeah.
it's
No, but everybody
it's
in there was like a member.
But that's my whole point. Anybody can walk in the coffee shop.
Yeah, that is
They
true.
should have made. I think, to me, and I don't want to be that person that say oh, I would have written it this way. That's not what. Personally, I would have felt like if
coulda
they had that
closed
random
sign
person,
for a private event. They coulda
yeah,
had a private
exactly
event sign on
that,
the
or if
outside.
they had a random person walk in
and be like, what
and
the
they
fuck?
react to that by saying. But like suddenly, like later on in the film, you see like this person
Yeah.
went missing or something like that.
Yeah.
like like
It
if
would have
anybody-
felt extraneous, though, to have to explain that, whereas you can, as an audience member, just guess that, they may have had a sign outside that said closed for private event, without showing it.
But it could've been-
Then you're
it
forced,
could-
you're spoon feeding every little
But
thing.
then you could have just shown like on a TV later on in
Yeah.
the background that this person, the guy or female's image that went into the coffee shop, that they went missing,
Right.
type of thing, to kind of show how
Yeah,
hardcore they are.
You
They
just
don't give a
you
fuck.
just don't want to be too on the nose.
Yeah,
is the
I
only
think
thing.
that the reason he had that scene was to show the influence and the power of this group, that they could all meet at the same time and make sure that no one else was in that room that should have been
Yeah.
in that room, and
None
that they
of them thought
had that
about
kind
saying,
of
"Hey,
power
let's
and
go to my
control.
house," 'cause
That
coffee
was
shop
my
might be a
takeaway.
little bit too-
But my takeaway wasn't that like.
But it's better to
This
be
is
you know,
Starbucks,
they're
bro.
disorganized. Like these guys have been around for who knows hundreds of years.
Yeah,
but
seems
you
like
know,
it's like
thousands of years or
Starbucks.
something. This group.
Well, it's better to meet in broad daylight because, like, what better way to hide your
Starbucks?
secret society than if you got a bunch of cars parked
were in
outside a
Starbucks.
mansion or something like that? No, I'm saying,
I'm just as a name.
I'm just saying, like,
No,
right now,
don't
if
they
somebody's
wait
meeting
for
in a
someone to
Starbucks-
leave. That's when they all start acting
that's what I
like
thought.
stopping.
They-
Yeah,
they
there's
might
literally
have-
someone in there, and
That
they
is what I
walk out,
thought.
and then all of a
They
sudden
might- that
everybody
might have-
stops
that
and
might
looks
have
to her.
happened.
That is what I thought.
I
yeah.
just-
but that is
So
hard
that-
to control. That is
that
hard to
explains
control.
a little bit more, though. That's a better way of handling it than her just walking in and everybody
and
stops.
recognizing everybody in there, every damn person.
Yeah, no. There are holes. You're right.
There's
You're not
holes,
wrong.
But it's
I think there was like technically on a technical level, I remember the only thing that threw me off was in that final battle scene outside of the hospital, where what's face on all fours, all that shit that goes down with the
Yeah.
SWAT team coming in and all that. I was looking at that and it felt like there were reshoots in that scene that Sarah Paulson wasn't there for. Because there were some over-the-shoulder shots that looked like they're not her. Like there were just some things that took me out of it.
I remember you saying that when we saw
Yeah,
it.
and I was like, fuck, this fucking, like, I don't like that. Like, it really looked weird that she was not, they would not show her in the same shots as anybody else.
Yeah, I was wondering how they were going to handle
weird.
like I'm like, are they going to go full CG McAvoy and CG
Yeah.
Bruce Willis? And then they did this thing where like the camera
The Spike Lee kind of thing.
Yeah. Where you had like the inside of the van while they were like beating each other up outside the van. It was getting all smashed up, and I was like, "This is great!"
Cool.
Like I
That was
love
cool.
this.
Yeah.
Like some of these shots I thought were really they conveyed what was going on without being like gratuitous and like heavy CG handed.
What you're talking about, I think I respected the fact that they had her deal with. Are you talking about the doctor, right? Dr.
Yeah. Sarah
That they
Paulson.
had her deal with. Nobody needs to see this.
Yes, and then I got
And
it a little bit
that's-
more afterwards.
Yeah.
Like they really were trying to contain it.
Yeah.
What was also
I think you could be right, but
on the
it's,
reshoots, yeah.
like afterwards, how they dealt with that situation, doing that, I
agree.
think it worked.
Yeah, so it made up for it a little bit. It was just in the moment I was having an issue. Now, I do like the twist at that point because the whole point is this whole movie, you're watching these three characters mainly. You don't really give a shit about the doctor trying to influence because you know they're going to break out and create all types of havoc. And you think it's going to go one way. It's going to be a big city scorching and everything's going to bust out. And then they clip that right at the bait. Like, they don't even let it get to that point off the lawn. And you realize, oh, they're playing these three. These three are not the gods. They're the gods, but then they're not in charge.
Yeah.
And they're really not. Like, you think that they're going to get the upper hand here. And they don't, because you have this society. It's not just Sarah Paulson and like the security guards at this facility. It's this whole thing where they're basically trying to convince these guys and change these guys, and as a last resort, they're gonna kill them. And they fucking kill all three of them. Like, they're done. They end them.
Yeah.
They dead them right there, and that was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't.
What was this? What was the scene at the airport or the train station at the end with the son and the girl?
Are you talking about how the
What
father?
was that about? Okay, Bruce Willis' son.
There's
and
a
then the girl
revelation in Glass
Yeah.
that
The father
James
was-
McAvoy's father
was in the train.
was on the train that exploded. Everyone died on the train.
that Bruce Willis was the only
on,
one to survive.
and he was
Yeah.
the only survivor. So there
And
was like
Mr.
a connection
Glass.
that that's
Mr.
why,
Glass placed his dad, placed everybody there to
Yeah.
cause all the.
No,
events
well, it
to
wasn't
start
Glass, was it?
Yeah, it was Glass,
the
'cause they
Secret
show him-
Order. I thought. I
No.
thought it was the Secret Society did it.
happening. No. It was Mr. Glass because remember they show a scene of him coming out of the train.
Yeah, well, that's from
Well, no, he
Unbreakable.
blew it
That's
up
Unbreakable.
to find Bruce Willis,
Yes.
but he wasn't intending to create.
No,
Horde, the Horde.
McAvoy.
he created
Right.
he created the
Horde.
beast. He needed the beast. He explains that.
Did he?
Yeah, he explained how if it wasn't for
Yeah,
him,
I got-
I
the
think
beast
that was
wouldn't be here.
incidental. He meant it was incidental. He's like, it must be fate because I was also able to create this guy, and that was not his intention though. From what I remember, he intended to find Bruce Willis, but he was trying to by
No, he says,
happenstance, by
"Isn't it?"
incidentally. He's like, couldn't believe that it also created this. Like, what kind of fate is that? Like, that's like unbelievable that it would create that as
No,
well.
but I think I understand that perspective, but I think if you listen to all of the lines, he's talking about like how can all these things happen if it wasn't organized, if
Right.
it wasn't someone didn't conduct it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Maybe-
He was the
maybe what I'm
conductor
getting
for all
confused
these
is-
events. I'm not punning on the train, but
I
he,
think
he
the
conducted.
Secret Society conversation was about the fact that these things keep bubbling up, and their job is to make sure that doesn't
they're
happen.
two
and
separate
they're
things.
losing control of like trying to contain this shit.
Yeah.
because it's like these superhero things just keep. And it was almost like they were saying like fate keeps trying to bring these things to humanity.
right, and this society.
Yeah, because he
awareness
says-
or
they're trying
whatever.
to.
Remember, he's sitting in the chair,
Squash
and the
it.
beast
Yeah.
is coming towards him. He says, "You can actually thank me
Right.
for
Creating you.
creating you." Yeah. So, and
But
then
what
he
was
goes,
the scene? I just can't remember the significance of the scene at the end where the Bruce Willis's son and then the girl, the one with the abuse from Split, are sitting there and they have cups of coffee or whatever. What is the significance of that scene? What do they talk about? Do you remember what I'm talking about, Neil? Do you remember at the end when you have Bruce Willis's son, you have the girl from Split, the one that was abused?
Yeah.
They're sitting there at the train. They're expecting something on the TV.
Oh, they're expecting.
Yeah,
they
the word got
uploaded
out.
the whole
yeah,
fight.
The word got out.
Yes, the
Yeah,
word.
because the organization was like, we did it. She's
And the
like, and
TV
she was
plays
upset that
in
they
the
had
cafe,
to kill him.
right?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
The
But
la-
and then the Secret Society, you all see it on the TV in the.
They
coffee
fail.
shop.
They
Is
don't
that-
show the
fail.
Secret
They don't see it.
Society seeing it, but they
Okay.
do show the whole.
No, they
like
do.
it goes viral, and
They
like
do.
everyone in the planet
They
like
do.
starts sending it or whatever.
Right, okay.
sharing
They
it.
show Dr. Ellie
I
and
remember
the Secret
my
Society
other
failing.
negative thing
Yeah.
about this.
No,
thing.
they show Dr. Ellie seeing that she failed. They failed
She thinks
in
we
keeping
got it.
this under control.
and then she sees it on the TV.
And then she sees it's everywhere.
what I-
It's
yeah.
like
Okay.
everywhere.
But-
because of his code earlier on, he
because she destroyed all the cameras or something, right?
He used the camera.
No.
Mr.
She thought she shut everything down and that there was no record like
No.
recorded.
Yeah, there was an extra.
She put the
he had a thing. Go ahead.
She put the cameras there to keep an eye on everyone.
Yeah.
He reversed and used all those cameras.
Recorded to a separate
Why is
server
he
or
going
something.
down? Because he went down into the thing
went
and went
to
through and like where the
the security, the basement where all the computers are.
Yes.
And he programmed the stream.
Yes.
He encoded everything. And at the end, they find that. She says to the guard, I need you to look through, see if anybody's been here.
Right.
And he looks and he finds the code.
Yeah.
And that's when the live stream was already happening at
Yeah,
that
it was a
point.
live
and then
stream.
she saw that Mr. Glass actually he got
Well, no,
his plan accomplished
it wasn't
by
a live
It wasn't a live
It
stream.
wasn't a
It
live
was
stream.
recorded
It
and
should have been a
sent
live
to
stream. It wasn't
a live stream,
server.
yeah.
It should have been a live stream, and I remember that was my negative.
No,
take
because
on it.
that's the scene at the end where they upload it and then they
Yep.
just wait.
Wait,
and
and
they
that's what
look
they're waiting
around
for.
and then everybody's phone starts blowing
yes,
up and
and
they're
then
like,
it ends.
real superheroes.
No, but that was my issue with it. Is like in an age where it's so easily digitally manipulate anything to do all this stuff, it doesn't make sense that anybody's just gonna
Nobody
believe
knew.
that. No, but everybody's gonna believe that. First time you see a video, your first thought it's
Dude.
fake. What they should
When
have
I
done.
saw that guy with the rocket pack, did I show you that rocket pack thing? And I was like, this is total CG. And like the more I looked, I was like, is this CG? And then I
That's-
looked into it and I was like, this is real.
That's
this fucking
different because
guy
the way they played it is that
flying
every
around.
single person on the planet was all of a sudden at the same time like, what the fuck? Like that's not how it would work in 2019. There's too much. You could do that shit on fucking After Effects, you know?
Yeah,
So what they should have done was,
unfortunately-
but if it was a live stream, that would be really hard to manipulate that digitally in any way if it was live. You know what I mean? And you could also, at that point, I'd also be going, it's a live stream, but it's a fake live stream. Like it's a live stream of a pre-recorded video, which you can also do. So that I didn't like. It felt like, no offense to M. Night Shyamalan, but it felt like an old dude who doesn't understand the technological aspects of it.
I think
or
he
didn't
wanted
think with it.
he wanted that like redemption from the girl
Yeah.
who had a connection with James McAvoy and the
Yeah.
son.
I felt
'Cause
like it
their not
he-
parents, but
he
their two people are dead.
Yeah, I felt like he should have worked on
That's
that
a spoiler
further
alert.
because you could instantly go, that's not really realistic. Like a bunch of people getting that video at the same time is fine, but just because they see that, then I'm like, there's real superheroes in the world. They'd be like, oh, look at this really well done video.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I
He
feel that
should have
was my
figured out
biggest.
better. A live stream would have at least been a little bit better, but it wasn't a live stream.
Oh,
which makes
the
it
mother
worse.
was there too.
That's right.
the
I
mother.
was like, there was somebody else.
Yeah,
there was an older
Mr. Glass's
person.
mother.
They all were
That's
together.
who it was. Yep.
Yeah.
They all
Thank you.
were
Thank you.
together,
That
yeah.
was the third person. I had a feeling.
Yeah,
it was
Each
I didn't
person
like-
had like a connection to
I didn't
each
like
of the
that.
three.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't feel like
It
it
felt
was
too
something
fake.
that felt like, oh my gosh, this had a world impact.
Yes, it's not jaw dropping in 2019. It would have been jaw dropping in 1999. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because all I have to do
But-
is release a video and say, "Ha fooled you."
Yeah, that happens all the time. Like
Yeah.
it's too easy to create a realistic, especially a security camera
Yeah.
one where it's not like HD and you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
They-
it already looks manipulated, so
Yeah.
you're gonna manipulate it more. Yeah.
So I think he admittedly should have done a live stream, which wouldn't have worked as the way he
Yeah.
was trying to do the beats of the story and how it was in the the resolution aspect of the third act. So it would have been hard to do that, but the way he did it, I don't think that was smart. I don't think it felt real. It
I agree with you.
Felt like
This is weird too. I agree with you.
That is weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, what else could he have done? He could have done a live stream. He could have done.
I mean,
I don't know. What else could you have done? You get it, man. Come on. Like if that
Yeah,
video
but
showed up
He
right
could
now.
have. Here's
I
here's
think
Mr.
most
Glass could have
people
done.
that
Yeah.
have watched this, like, that's not a criticism. I think
I
more
don't agree.
people
I
are.
think it is,
Google
though.
it. I bet
I
you people
totally-
are talking
yeah.
about it.
No,
I agree.
I just read an article, and they're like, he upload, and the video was uploaded to a server, and then a link sent to because what
Yeah.
you're in this mental institution. This surveillance footage is probably being recorded on some older technology, maybe some old tapes or whatever. So this image was being sent digitally to a server, and then that link was then emailed to the mother, and then the mother
Email to all of them.
Well, told them later. I mean, it wasn't
no,
even.
it
this
was-
didn't happen like while the
No,
event
they
had
were
just
all they all
happened.
received the footage.
No, it was the mother had it, and she's the one that
I just watched it yesterday.
No, that's what
I'm telling you, they all received the footage. They all received the footage. The son received it on the computer back at the.
sounds-
when
that
he
sounds
goes
right.
home or
Yeah, that
whatever.
They,
sounds
they
right,
all
yeah.
received everything.
Okay.
But-
here's a way they could have done it.
Yeah.
They could have filmed that whole section towards the night, and then he could have blacked out the world.
How do you block
Like
out
his code blacks out everything.
How do you do that? though?
I mean,
That's
society. I mean, we're
yeah.
use it the opposite way. Instead of showing something, shut everything out. Take control of everything.
Right.
Like it's black. The
Yeah.
whole word goes black.
Yeah.
And then all you do is hear his voice.
That'd be too big though, right? Because he's
No,
trying
it's
not
big
to go
enough.
too
Dude,
big.
But that's the whole point of Mr.
The whole
Glass.
movie, I thought they
He's
were
this
going to go to that
weakling little-
building.
like you think he's so weak, and suddenly he pulls this
Smart.
worldwide event
Yeah.
where he blacks out the world.
But that's what you thought was going to happen. Remember,
I
they
thought-
set
yeah.
you
I thought
up
they were
because they
gonna
were going to
say
go
San
to that
Francisco or
building.
whatever, the big-
no,
yeah.
it was in Philly. It was
was
like
in
a
Philly,
building
yeah.
under
Right, of
construction.
course
They
not
were
San
going to
Francisco.
climb the building and have
Yeah.
this big brawl and
In the middle of this big grand opening of the new building or whatever.
yeah, and they were going to like kill all
Or
these
other
people or
superheroes
whatever,
coulda
and
came
he's
out.
like, I'm going to kill everybody. And then
Yeah.
they fight like literally in a parking lot.
Yeah,
in
so
front of the
minimally what it
building.
could do is other people out there with powers,
Yeah.
this would be a wake-up call to them. So maybe some people think it's fake. It was just the way they did it was like every person at the train station or plane airport. It was a train station, I think, right?
Yeah, it was a
Everybody
train
was
station.
just
Yeah,
like
it was
reacting at the same time. It just felt so...
That's how the first one
It
ended.
felt
yeah,
it
but
felt
20
done
years
before.
ago, that would have been a thing. In 2019, that's just not going to be a thing. But realize he came up with the story a long ago. I wonder if that was the ending he had in mind 20 years ago for this film, and it made
Maybe.
sense then.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, in 2018, I guess when it came out, it just is not. It's not what would happen. So it feels like you're trying to make a grounded film, and then all of a sudden it's not feeling real. And
No, it
maybe
was-
after
I
time,
felt
if
like it
enough
was very
people like
grounded.
analyze the video, they'd be like telling you guys there's nothing fake about this video. And if you pick apart, but they were talking about it was instant gratification.
Yeah.
Which is not
You
what
know
happened.
what I liked about it that I thought was like initially I thought I would be like I was kind of let down when I was watching it when they're like hype when James McAvoy's hyping up like oh we're gonna go to this building it's gonna be crazy
Yeah.
the superhero
I
showdown
thought that was gonna be
and in my
weird,
mind
too.
in my mind I'm just like Marvel DC Comics
Yeah.
CG Battle Fest I'm like oh this is gonna get crazy like he's gonna go straight into all the bullshit I've been
never get off
dealing
the
with
front
for the
lawn.
but that's
was
like
great.
reality.
I like that.
Like
Yeah.
you
I like
have some
that.
crazy fucking guy who's got 30 personalities talking about he's gonna do all this grand shit, and a fucking guy like is just full of shit.
Yeah.
Like of course that's not gonna happen in the real world, and
Right.
and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
It's
That is
the
what I was
exact
saying. I
opposite.
like the fact that they actually, you think that these three are going to lead the movie into its final climax and
Yeah,
everything like
like-
that. You think it's going to be this whole thing, but it really is.
It's still grounded.
They're
in a way.
they're being controlled. Like they never have the upper hand really, except for then they do. That's the kind of twist at
like
the end.
Bruce
with
Willis
the
is literally
footage.
murdered in a puddle.
Yes.
Like a 2-inch deep puddle.
Yeah, he's
on
drowned.
the fucking ground.
Yeah, I
They
didn't know-
drown him in that.
this is what I didn't
Because
like about that scene.
Because water.
Yeah,
water
this
is
is what I
his like mortal enemy.
scene.
Like
because they
water
show
kills
that
him.
earlier on. They show like this puddle, like oh something's gonna happen with this puddle,
Right.
And then they just. I don't know. I feel
then
like
James
Bruce.
McAvoy
I
is
want,
just
liked
shot.
it. I liked it.
I didn't like that ending.
But there were negatives that I felt like they needed more thought put into them. That's all I felt like they weren't fully developed. Like they like that well, okay, one's reshoots thing is a technical thing. I can get past that. It really is that one thing with the footage. I just didn't like it. I just felt like that's not real. And they were trying to make a movie about what would happen really, and it just felt like it was a thing that was maybe written a long time ago and not developed further.
Like
I don't
was
know.
watching Baby Jean, which was Mr. Glass, Baby Hulk, which was the Beast, and
Well, that's the thing.
and
It's
old
like-
version that
Baby
old version
Professor
Superman.
X was Glass. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it was just like
I feel like if you can buy into this concept that it's like this could happen in our universe,
Yeah.
and like what would it be like?
But
Are
see,
you going to
I-
have people get exposed to gamma rays and then turn into giant green goobers that are running around, can't speak English?
Yeah.
All of a sudden
this is what I did to get
talk
myself
like
in
a
this
child.
mentality.
Like that's not realistic
it's
in
just
my
the footage.
world.
No,
like
think
I don't
about
think
it.
that's
I
ever
really-
gonna
I liked
happen.
everything but the footage thing.
I said, think
That's
about
really
it.
all.
I said this. I said, do you think
That's
like we
good.
use a certain percentage of our brains? So maybe this is like a Lucy. We unlocked our brain.
But are we going to turn
and
into green goobers? Like, no.
How do you know?
What do you mean? How do I know?
How do you know?
Because out of the billions and
Don't
billions
assume
of people
I'm not a green goober, dude.
that have been evolving over the last
So you do
however many
understand-
years, like there's been no recorded historical event of somebody turning into a green goober or turning into any. I mean, I guess you have werewolves and vampires and shit, but that's
Come on.
more based on like whatever.
I mean, you got to think about it. It's like
fantastic lore. I'm talking about transformations, but nobody's turned into a green goober. Anyway,
you're
talking about the Hulk,
limited.
right?
Look, we're
You
limited.
say green goober,
Yeah.
you're talking about the Hulk?
yeah.
Okay. You
Was
just
that
keep
not
saying
clear?
green goober.
We're limited by the way.
I
we
just
think.
I like that
You know?
it's like he was thinking out of the box. He's like, I'm not gonna take this. I'm gonna these are my limits. Like, these are walls I'm creating within this story, and I can't go out of this because then all of a sudden I'm going into the realm of fantasy, science fiction. He goes, I'm going to make everything explainable.
I
except
just
for
think
Bruce
it was
Willis.
a bit. I don't want to use the word lazy because it's never lazy. Filmmaking's never lazy. People
That's
use that
hard.
a lot.
It's hard
But
to
it's
try to
hard. But
sell
it
this
feels
story.
like it was should have been developed further. He should have come up with a better
Dated.
ending.
It was
Yeah.
dated. It was
At
dated.
the end with the footage upload, it was too much instant gratification on something being uploaded, and that is not how the world works. We are cynical as fuck. We are not going to accept that that's real just because it shows up on our phone, and not everybody's gonna be getting alerts immediately. Like
You're thinking
unless
of
it's
people
real.
like you. But
thinking
not
about-
the masses.
No, the masses are
The masses
worse. Are
believe
worse about it.
the biggest lies ever.
If me
How do you
and-
think Russia
Not so-
So,
swayed
Neil,
the
you do
election?
understand-
No, the savvy, the
There must be a
gatekeepers of
mess.
the internet and social media are usually the ones who understand and are more cynical. Like they're more about this is bullshit, that's
Oh,
bullshit.
well,
that's-
yeah, but
I've seen it all. This is just
it's
another
not
thing.
something that like promotes any kind of
This
agenda.
is not Blair Witch Project time where everybody believes this found footage thing in the fucking, you know
It's
what I mean?
not.
We
Yeah,
disbelieve,
yeah, very
we question everything at this point when it comes to digital media, like we do. For the most
I don't know.
part.
I mean, the Pentagon.
Yeah, and the question
released
is,
that-
how
I'm
is
not
the-
talking about your
the question is literally, how was
70-year-old
that
mother
done?
or aunt or something like that who just thinks that like everything is
Yeah, but like
real.
the Pentagon released that shit. The fucking Navy or whatever is tracking a unidentified craft or whatever flying over the ocean, and nobody's like questioning whether that's real or not, even though it's released by the Pentagon.
This
and
goes back
some-
to that. I mean,
You know what
it's
I
a
mean?
good
Like I'm
point.
like,
It's-
this is like a UFO has been recorded by the Navy and like or whoever the fuck, and
Most people don't
aren't
believe it.
rejecting it.
A lot of people don't believe it.
of course
It's
not.
the-
Oh,
fucking
yeah, if you mean
Pentagon.
yeah, it's the Pentagon, sure. But a lot of people don't believe if you got a video on your phone.
I think it's like if it's anonymous, then yeah, it's in question. But if it's released from a reliable source,
But that
No,
wasn't a
it's
reliable
not. No.
source.
That didn't-
No.
You just tried to defend
yeah.
it.
It was
All I'm
anonymous.
saying-
He just fell into a
I
hole.
was surprised.
He fell into the little
I
puddle.
literally supported
yeah,
you.
yeah.
He fell into the puddle. No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is that today when you watch a video and it's like this crazy, like even like you see a lot of those videos, those guys shooting basketball backwards and going to the shots.
We
the
question
first
them.
thing you
I
say
just
is
assume they're all real. I don't know.
the first thing I say is like, how do they do that? Like, how do they? And I being a special effects artist, I understand how like those things are made.
Yeah.
So I automatically question everything that I see. Is like, how was that made?
Yeah.
How was that? How are these alien footages created? Oh,
Yeah.
I could do.
Yeah,
I
that's-
have a friend of mine who
Look
really,
at the comment section. Fake AF. Like all these comments are just like
Dude, I
they
mean,
don't believe it.
The funny thing is, yeah,
And that's like after weeks of looking at this fucking shit. And we're talking about this was like seconds later. Like
I
or
think
minutes
we've-
later.
Here's what's
but
happening
there
right
is
now in
actually
society.
there is good
I'ma break it down
technology
to
that
you.
exists that can definitively prove whether footage is
Totally, and that's what I'm saying.
Like,
That's what I'm
there's
saying.
an
If they
entire
analyze-
industry on
Yeah,
that.
no, I
so
was
it's
gonna-
easy
And
to
it's not-
determine
but
if
it-
And
but
something's
it's
that's
not
what
as
I'm saying.
difficult
I'm
as you
fine with
think.
that if they gave it a couple weeks or you know what I mean. They started analyzing footage. I could see that and really break it down. 'cause
It
you could
wasn't
do
even
that.
about that,
It
though.
was
You're
immediately.
taking up the wrong point. The point of that footage being released was to honor the memory of those people.
No, it's to
No,
expose
honor the
it.
memory.
No, it's to
No, it was
expose
expose
it.
it. It was totally to
wasn't
expose
about
it.
them.
All three of them are dead.
Yeah, but it was about.
It
to
was about these
expose
three
the thing.
individuals that were connected to those three people that were like, these guys
It wasn't about them.
going to die, and no one's ever going to know their story and never know that
You don't
the ability
release a
that they
fight,
had.
a
Bruce
video of them
Willis-
fighting each other and be
Bruce
like, "This
Willis
is to
and the
honor these
Beast.
dead men that died
Bruce
during
Willis
this
and
But
the
fight."
it
Beast
was
had nothing to
showing
do with
that,
Mr.
like,
Glass.
you know, that this exists.
Erroneous on both
Bruce
counts.
Willis.
I think
and
you,
Mr.
you
no.
guys misunderstood like what the purpose of that was.
Bruce Willis and Bruce Willis and the Beast
Yeah.
had nothing to do with the end game of Mr. Glass. Mr. Glass's purpose and
Was
his
to
goal
expose this.
was to expose this.
Yeah.
So the death of Bruce Willis and the Beast had nothing to do with him doing that.
It wasn't
It-
them
it's-
dying. It was them fighting in such a way that was like, it was like, what the hell's going on
It's
here?
almost like they were a distraction so Mr. Glass can like pull out his scheme.
Yeah, his whole thing was to get them to fight there with the camera so he could record it and then have it
Exactly.
released. Whether
It's
he lived or
all-
died, it
exactly.
didn't matter.
Right.
Exactly.
That was the purpose of the whole thing. It
So-
was to show, but at the same time, like that with all three of them there, I don't think Bruce Willis, his son, like had more attention on that. Like Bruce Willis' son, if he had been working with his dad for years,
Yeah.
like trying to stop bad guys, and knew that he was like had superhuman strength and all this stuff, and they didn't expose it. They didn't care about that. He cared about, this is like him
Yeah.
honoring his father's memory
All
in
of
a way.
it-
And then that chick who had the weird connection where he tried to eat her belly or whatever, and then she was all sliced up, so
Yeah.
he was like, "Rejoice!
Rejoice! You are burdened
You
like
are-
I.
No, what was it?
abused. You are not weak.
He's like, "You have suffered." His whole thing was like getting people to suffer so they could like come through the other end a better
something like
person.
that. Yeah, something like
It was
that.
real weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was very biblical. But so what I'm saying is I am fine with all of that and the intentions and all that. I'm fine with all that. It's just the execution of the way he decided to show this exposed thing just felt like it just felt not real, and he was trying to make a movie about it. It really just felt like that was just not how he would react. Again, it feels like an ending that
I
was
see
that
what
he
you did.
developed like 20 years ago or something like that. Like that's how it feels like. I just felt like he should have executed that a little bit better. That's all
It
I
was
wanted.
dated. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's all I wanted.
I
That's all.
agree.
That's all. But otherwise, I actually thought the movie was great.
It
I
would've
thought it
been
was a really
better.
good follow-up.
You should
to Split.
agree.
Honestly, if they showed people like in their bedrooms or something, and they
Yeah,
got,
not
a,
just
got
a
a
train
link on their
station,
phone or
yeah.
something, and then they showed people in like school, or they showed people in college, and then you saw
And somebody going, "Is this real?"
It was like
and
a
somebody
montage
going, "I don't
of
know."
clips. That's
Yeah.
more realistic.
And maybe
to me
somebody
because,
goes,
people at work, like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
you
maybe
know?
some kids going like, "Is this real?" And they're like, "I don't know." Like
Yeah,
just
in
this
high school,
question, more of a question.
in
mark.
college, I think high school and college, some video like that would spread. Like for
Exactly.
us, we
Yeah.
probably wouldn't see it until like 48 hours later.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
you guys see that thing? Like what thing? Like everybody.
They were trying to insinuate that the entire world knew immediately
yeah,
and
we're
believed
like
it.
we're like the last.
Yeah, they were
see
trying to say
anything.
that everybody got it immediately.
We're trying
and
to spend
believed
less time on the
Did you guys
internet.
see that new show out called Game of Thrones?
Yeah. I just
it. Point in
started,
fact, he just saw
y'all.
Glass. You know, it's like he finally just saw it. We're not all up on our
And here's-
things immediately.
Yeah, I agree with Nick. I think the ending was very dated. I think they should have done something else. Maybe like have like they shown when they were fighting, all that thing was going on. They shown that the society is much bigger than we thought, than just a coffee shop,
Yeah.
or something. Or then there's a pan up where you start seeing things blow up or something in the background. That's like the mutants are actually coming out of the
Yeah.
closet type of deal.
Something. Yeah.
Something. And it was very weak ending for such a big build up
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Because you already lost such a big build up
It
when
was just
they
the
died.
way it was done.
Yeah.
The intention of what he was trying to do with that, I believe that it should have been exposed. I believe that it's just the way it was executed, and I just feel like it just needed to go back to the drawing board on that. They needed to spitball a little bit more, brainstorm, and just come up with a slightly better ending.
We need
Let
to end
me
this
let me
podcast.
just say
This-
something though, real quick.
Yeah, because I'm agreeing with
Look
Nick
at
too
how
much and it's odd.
look at how cynical we are. This guy,
We live in a cruel
M. Night
and cynical
Shyamalan, was like created this film, Sixth Sense, and this guy was like a star. Like this guy was on fire. He was like the #1 guy in Hollywood. You know, the movie was at the Oscars, nominated for Oscars and shit. First film, like right. And then he started to make some films, and he kind of did okay. But then he just like nosedived. This guy did, which people apparently disliked. I mean, I enjoyed some of these, but people critically hated him. Lady in the Water, The Happening, Last Airbender, After Earth. Years went
4 in
by
a
where
row.
he made these shitty movies, and then this guy's able to take his second film that he made, make a sequel to it that nobody knew was a sequel,
Yeah.
and then make a sequel to that and create this entire universe
awesome.
and make a comeback.
It's
And
awesome.
We're gonna sit there and criticize how he fucking
I know.
uploaded some video at the end of this fucking movie. I mean, come on. The fact that we're even having a conversation
I agree.
about M. Night Shyamalan after all these
Yeah.
I'm in
shitty
his
fucking
camp.
movies.
No,
I
I'm not-
actually
I'm
just
not-
wanted to
I'm
help
not-
him
It's
get-
crazy, right?
Yep.
That he's even had a comeback.
I'm in
That's
M.
crazy.
Night Shyamalan's camp. I just wanted to help him beforehand in pre-production. Fix up
here
that
we
scene.
go.
That's it. No, like as a storyteller, I
Maybe,
I wanted to
maybe
be able to
he
help
feels
him.
like the reason those other movies failed is because he allowed the
Yeah.
studio to
Maybe.
have too much influence.
Yep.
I
All
think
right. I think
that's
we're
probably
all
it.
we're all
Yeah.
kind
I know.
of in agreement.
I don't know if this because I know he had a 5-film contract with the studio that when yeah, you were talking a lot of shit.
You're doing
So
this
shut the
gesture
fuck-
like we gotta wrap it up, and then
We
you
do
start
gotta
going
wrap
into
it
this.
up.
I'm doing the same thing.
He
He
paid
was in
out of
contract-
pocket
he-
for
he-
all of these movies.
He was in contract with Airbender. He still
Airbender,
owned the studio 2 more films after
Really?
Airbender because Airbender didn't do so well, and they decided not to do the next 2.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but I'm excited.
The
I think he
Visit,
did. Look,
Split, he paid out of pocket for
He paid
all
out
of
of
these
pocket.
movies. Like
And
no
he's making
studio
bank.
money.
He's making
That's
bank,
crazy.
man. He's making bank.
I think these
That's
films
crazy.
are great. There's that element at the end that, like, I agree with.
Yeah, it wasn't like. I think we set our
So-
expectations too high.
No, I
think
didn't set-
After Split, it was like you're just like,
That was
wait,
not
what
it
the
for me.
fuck, Bruce Willis? Like that's a mind fuck, right?
Yeah,
But
it wasn't different. I
then
didn't
this,
set
he just kind of.
expectations for it.
I did. I set my expectations higher than I probably should have, and then
I let that film.
I still enjoyed the movie.
You know, when you just say, I'm just going to watch the film, I'm going to see what it is, that's what I did with
Yeah.
it. After Split, I was like, okay, Glass is coming out. I think it looks good. I just want to see it and see how he finishes this storyline.
yeah,
That's
Yeah,
it.
I liked it. I liked it.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't wait to see the
I
next
recommend
one. They're
it
going to do
if
another
you
one. They're going to do
haven't
another
seen
one.
it.
They have to. He's created this universe now. He's going to do another one. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm
I
excited.
don't think so.
I think he's supposed to.
Let's see.
It was easy money. He made like 400 million or something on that. But he spent 20 million.
I think he's
making
gonna move on
Glass,
to
and
something
it
else.
Did
Let's see.
something like 300-400 million.
Yeah.
Made crazy money.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us here at Get to the Podcast. Let's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. My name is Thiago D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. But now,
Are you not entertained? That's not related.
Rejoice!
so stop yelling, because now the beast is here and you're gonna die.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.